My name is Peter Parker. I'm pretty sure you know the rest. I saved the city, fell in love, then I saved the city again and again and again. Look, I'm a comic book, a cereal, I did a Christmas album, and a so-so popsicle. But this isn't about me. Not anymore.
Spider-Man swings in once a day, zip zap zop in his little mask, and answers to no one. I love you, Miles.
Yeah, I know that.
You gotta say I love you back.
Dad, are you serious?
I wanna hear it.
Look at this place.
Dad, I love you.
Dad, I love you.
That's a copy.
The look of the film is really extraordinary. Peter, I was going to ask you, as one of the directors, talk a little bit about some of the things that you're most excited about visually in this film, because from point of view and perspective, sound effects, all kinds of stuff.
Right. Well, you know, the big question everybody asks themselves when the idea of this project first came up was, why another Spider-Man movie? I mean, I know I asked that. And of course, part of the reason was to introduce Miles, who, you know, is he's known to comic book fans, but he's a new alternate version of Spider-Man who was introduced in 2011, and he's half African-American, half Puerto Rican. He represents kind of a new face, pretty literally, on the myth of Spider-Man, but also a way to kind of like to talk about what does this myth mean? Because we look at it as a myth that can be told in different ways, and part of telling it in these different ways for us was to go back to the original inspiration of comics, to try to do something that felt new and fresh graphically in terms of illustration. We wanted to bring back a little bit of the feel of the hand-drawn to big feature animation, which is something we all feel pretty passionately about.
The way that the movie presents Spider-Man swinging through New York City, I'm not sure it's ever been more vertical or more vertigo inspiring.
This is all an opportunity to figure out how to tell the story in a novel way. What's so cool is that animation and cinema have grown up together, and so we tried to make the most cinematic animated picture that we could. And the source material is so cinematic. We are all people who grew up with comics and sequential art, and it informed our interest in animation. And the borders between panels is the same as the borders between drawings, between edits, and we wanted our movie to kind of subconsciously make you think about that.
Yeah, I think it's really a real groundbreaking move to have this. It's 3D and 2D, and I think it's a really innovative thing. It's 4 times harder to make this a frame of this movie than a standard CG animated film. And if you freeze any frame on it, it looks like a painting that's come to life. And it's the artistry in it is spectacular. And I'm hoping that in the future, if we look back at 20 years, this opens up the floodgates for other studios to try and have a wider diversity of looks and styles, and to really bring back some of, like Peter was saying, that hand-drawn artistry into major animated films.
Also, I think 2 cast members who kind of really won everyone's hearts right off the bat were Brian Tyree Henry and Luna Velez, who you saw in the little clip where you know, the real heart of this movie is about Miles and his family, and the family dynamic that makes him the person he is under the mask. So those actors really brought some heart and soul to this.